Today we're going to talk about a little bit of white noise. Adding some suspense to your track. Using it for fills. Um, we can basically use this for anything that we want. Underlying tones, a little bit of hissing. Um, build ups to breakdowns. Um, you know, White noise is used throughout tracks everywhere. So what we're going to do today is just show you how to create your own white noise as an instrument inside of Ableton, so you can save it and then use it, anytime that you need to bring in white noise. What we're going to do here is just build a basic structure of white noise with some effects added to the end, and then depending on your track and how you feel, you can use that in different ways. We can lower it, we can compress it, we can sidechain it, we can pan it, we can make it sound a little more metally. Um, we can filter it and use it in any different parts of our tracks. So, just building this one instrument and then saving it inside of the folder in Ableton, this will allow us to, just have white noise at our fingertips at any single time we want, and good white noise that we would want to use inside of a track. I already have a track built here, so, let's just kind of get right into it. I'm going to play a part of this track that I've been working on just to show you. I have to show you with a track pretty much built almost fully to where the white noise is really going to make a difference here. So, if we see right here, I have a little piece of white noise that I made with Massive, but I'm going to turn that off. We're going to build something from scratch. So, this part of the track kind of sounds like this. Let's just see how it sounds. Take off the loop. See right there, I was coming into the main vocal of the track, so I want to build a little suspense. So I'm going to build like a nice, long piece of white noise here, right before the track. So the way that we're going to do that here is, I have an empty MIDI track. Just open it up. Take an instance of operator. Now, so we have my operator here. And we're just going to take the operator, just show you a little closer here. So this is my operator here. So basically we're just going to use one oscillator to create the white noise. Okay. So we put the level all the way up, and the way we're going to make white noise is we're going to change the wave sign inside of the oscillator. So what we want to do is we're going to click on this tab here. The noise loop I don't like to really use. Sometimes you hear it clicking in the back part of that. So what I like to use is just noise white. Okay. Now I have my MIDI controller hooked up here. So now it should be something like this. A little bit of white noise there. Okay, very raw, very uncut. Not something that we're going to use per se in our track right now, but that's the basis at the start of what we want to do. Okay, so here's our white noise here. And what I want to do is I want to make a build here I want to build it for 8 bars, so I want to go to here. So I want to highlight where I want to build it, and then hit Command L, create a loop there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I like to go back. This is my operator. Let's just change the name here, Command R, or white noise, so it doesn't get lost anywhere. So we know. Let's open it up a little bit. Let's lower the volume just a bit. So again, we have just a raw white noise coming in. So what we want to do to shape the white noise here, to get more of a, what we're looking for, we're going to use the filter inside of the operator. So let me just show you here. So here's our filter here. So we're just going to turn that on. And, inside the filter tab, we have all the different filters. Now, in your case, it would be a case to maybe try and go through all of these and see, the different sounds, and, because each one is going to create a different type of filter and a different type of sound for the white noise. So depending on what we're trying to achieve, all of these can be good in their own way. So, I would just go along and just see, let's see, a low, now you hear it's very low. So our frequency is going to be very key here in, adjusting how we want this noise. We can have, so by adjusting the frequency, we can have the noise, fluctuate, in different ways. And also the resonance too is something good to pay attention to. We can go along and let's just hit the other ones. Let's hit a notch. Let's see how that sounds. I'm looking for something that builds with suspense, but not too much suspense. So let's try that. That's a little too high pitch there. The low, it's a little low pitch. I kind of like the notch 24 dB. Gives me that kind of spacey kind of feel, kind of for what I'm looking for right now. So. We can also automate the frequency, inside once we make, a loop and stuff like that. But, for right now, I'm going to find, the frequency that I like the most and kind of just leave that there. And I'm going to add an additional filter so we can have it build. We're going to add an auto filter from the effects rack of Ableton. Because with this, I want the white noise to stay pretty much the same sound. I just want it to come in on a gradual level. So I'm going to use an external filter to do that. So, let's kind of find where we want, the sound to be. Something like that's pretty good to start with there. So, what I did, I turned my oscillator on, made it a white noise. See here. Then I went over to my filter, and I adjusted my filter to, where I want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is just create a MIDI clip. Let's make this one 8 bars. And let's put one long note here. Doesn't matter where you put it on the white noise because it's all going to be the same sound. So I have one long note, 8 bars. So now let me just drag this. Oops, right there. And now I have my 8-bar loop. So there's my 8-bar loop here. And, this is where it's going to start and this is where it's going to end. So right now it's going to be very raw. So let's kind of just listen to that. Okay. Sounds kind of cool. It's a little loud. Let's lower the volume. But we want it to come in gradually, so it's kind of like a build. So, what we want to do here now is, this is where I talked about the external. Let's take an auto filter. Put it right in there. Okay, now we have an auto filter. turn around. All right. So again, so this is our auto filter here. You should be familiar with that. You know, we can just filter out different frequencies and stuff. So, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to use a low pass filter here. Low pass meaning that all the low frequencies are going through. You know, our white noise is going to typically be a high frequency. It just, you know, that's just where it lays in the spectrum. So what I like to do is, you know, turn this all the way down. So now we hear nothing. We hear nothing when the white noise comes in because it's all high frequencies and we're filtering all the high frequencies out. So what we want to do is now we want to automate this frequency so it'll gradually rise to the end there. So basically what we're going to do here is now what we do is we're going to click on the frequency tab here. So now our automation shows up here, auto filter frequency. And that can be done in other ways too. We can also click on here, click auto, and then click frequency. So now this blue line here is our, as you can see, is our frequency level. So what we want to do is just build it gradually. You know, something like that. Okay. Now let's see where we're at with that. So let's listen to the build here. So we had it looped there, but basically you could see, you heard it gradually coming in. So, it's just building on that little suspense. That's part one of, building your white noise. Stay tuned for part two. We're going to add a bunch more effects, make this into its own instrument. But for now, what we would want to do is, let's save this. So we have it. Let's hit the Save tab. And just hit white noise, or whatever you want to label it. And then that will become, a saved preset inside of your Ableton. So now you have white noise. Stay tuned for part two and part three. We're going to really, really add to the dynamics of white noise and really get into creating, stuff that has a lot of movement and a lot of texture and, things like that. Just to make your track a little bit different than the next guys. Thank you.